Hey, it's Will Wofford with Berkshire, Hathaway, York, Simpson, Underwood, Realty, and today I'd like to take you on a tour of Boylan Heights. Boylan Heights is a really neat neighborhood in between Hillsborough Street and Western Boulevard, and it's adjacent to downtown. So come on, let's take a ride and let's go see Boylan Heights. Boylan Heights is a neighborhood that's situated just inside Raleigh's inner belt line between Morgan Street and Western Boulevard. And the neighborhood begins essentially as you cross the Boylan Bridge. And I think it's only fitting that the first property you see is William Munford Boylan's historic mansion on the right. The property was recently sold, and the new property owners are converting the mansion into a boutique inn with 10 rooms. But the historical significance of the property goes back much further. It actually goes back to 1855 when Boylan's father, a prominent North Carolina landowner, gave him 100 acres of plantation land that would later surround the property and actually continued up to Hillsborough Street. And as the story goes, the mansion was built in 1858, and Boylan died in 1899 unexpectedly. And later, in 1907, after his wife's death, the remaining family sold the 100 acres that surrounds the property to a developer, and the Boylan Heights subdivision was built, which created one of Raleigh's first planned subdivisions. What's unique about the subdivision really are the curved linear streets. This tract of land was once a hilly parcel that was heavily wooded, and the streets were carved out so they could sort of wind down the hill from where the neighborhood begins today as you cross the Boylan Bridge all the way down to Western Boulevard. Within the development, Boylan Avenue is really the showpiece of the neighborhood, and today that's where you'll find the largest homes with the largest setbacks from the road. And of course, that was done purposefully because it surrounded the mansion. Other prominent streets in the neighborhood, such as Cutler and Lenore Street, are secondary to Boylan Avenue, and on the secondary streets, you can expect to find the smaller bungalow-style houses. What I especially like about Boylan Heights is the neighborhood's proximity to downtown and Hillsborough Street. The neighborhood is just to the east of NC State, bordering Hillsborough Street, Western Boulevard, and South Saunders Street. Today, there are 284 homes in the neighborhood with a 75% owner occupancy and a turnover rate that's been pretty consistent over the last several years at 2.5%. So it can be a bit challenging to find the ideal property you're looking for here, and you really have to be prepared to act quickly if your ideal property does come up for sale. The median home size in the neighborhood is currently just over 1,600 square feet, with a median sales price of $475,000, and that home was typically built in 1926. There are a few condos in the neighborhood, and they're located on Cabarrus at Florence Street and range in size from around 1,050 square feet to just over 1,300 square feet, with a recent median sales price of $345,000. As I mentioned, you're about as close to downtown as you can get on this neighborhood, and you can see downtown right here on Cabarrus Street. I'm turning now on DuPont Circle, and this part of DuPont Circle isn't actually part of the neighborhood, but I wanted to give you a sense of just how close you are to downtown. The neighborhood perimeter is actually one street over, and I'll take us back around to the neighborhood in just a sec. Okay, as we take this left, we'll be on Kinsey Street and back in the neighborhood. So this street is one street off the street we were just on. And this street is really kind of neat because it's actually a little bit elevated from the street we were just on, which gives you a really nice view of downtown. Now we'll turn on Cabarrus Street and we'll take Cabarrus to Cutler Street and take that back around to Munford Avenue. I think Cutler's a really neat street with some pretty cool architecture. As we round the corner on Munford Avenue, you can't see it, but there are a few industrial buildings that give this part of the neighborhood a nostalgic feel. And as we pass Munford Hall, we've essentially reached the end of the neighborhood. And as you can see straight across where that truck's turning, that's DuPont Circle, which would take us back around to Kinsey Street, adjacent to downtown. As we cross the Boylan Bridge, just look at the spectacular view of downtown to the right. And for reference, you can't see it, but the Bloomsbury building is on the left just after we cross the bridge. Hey, it's Will Wofford again with Berkshire Hathaway, York, Simpson, Underwood, Realty. And I sure do hope you enjoyed my video of Boylan Heights. If you have any questions about this neighborhood or any other neighborhood in Raleigh, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be glad to help you. If you like the video, please make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. And thanks so much for watching.